This is Travis Wayne Goodsell. Apparently we have an update on some videos that I've been doing informing you about my personal life, about the threats and attacks that have been made against me by those who are supposed to protect and serve. The person that I called the police for the first time around for the original complaint may have been back today, or it was the police department again coming back to further attack me. I don't know. I didn't bother to answer the door, and nobody broke in. But so somebody, after all these weeks, had finally tried to come back and potentially attack me again. Because if they wanted a peace offering, they would have notified me in advance that they were coming. They know my email, but anyway, I contacted the Attorney General's office, and they said contact your local police. So I had to respond, they're in on it too. So we'll see if they respond to that. So we not only have threats, but we have human trafficking, we have attempted murder, enslavement, which is part of the human trafficking. It's not sex trafficking, it's the human labor trafficking thing. Wrongful incarceration, wrongful diagnosis, wrongful drugging. So lots of criminal behaviors that are systemic here in Utah. And if you're not aware, you may have been aware of Nurse Wubbles from the University of Utah Hospital, who was arrested because she refused to give a blood sample to a police officer who didn't follow the chain of command to get it. And took 3 months before it went viral, and that caused a national outcry, which forced the Salt Lake police to fire him as a consequence. But as I had commented on my website back at that time, that this is a systemic problem. This wasn't a one-time incident by this one guy. This is how all police officers think, and it's bad. It's dangerous. So that's the update, and yeah, I knew it was too good to last. I knew that if it's the original people I filed the complaint with, that if enough time goes by, they would then feel protected, that they can go back and try again. Or if it's the police, that they would come back and flex their muscle again. So, yeah. Again, they were telling me crime is not a crime. And it was just after Giuliani had come out and said it. And so it's like, God, unbelievable. They're trying to pull that stunt on me when they see me watching MSNBC, who makes sure to cover all these outrageous claims by Trump and his goons. But yeah, it was nice to hear yesterday that Giuliani may be in big trouble for having lied. So we'll see how that goes. I may have to pause here for a second. Hold on. Okay. So I hope Mormons understand, or if you're not Mormon, that you also understand deeper than you have ever conceived of, that the evil here in Utah under the Mormon Church's rule runs deep within the minds, the hearts, the thinking of Mormons. And the officer who attacked Nurse Wubbles, he's just like the Mormon leadership. Mormon leadership believes they're above the law because they're God's voice, as they believe. And with the article of faith about obeying, honoring, and sustaining the laws of the land, of kings, presidents, rulers, magistrates, Mormons then interpret that as we can't question our government leaders either. Especially when Utah is filled with Mormons who have gone through the temple and therefore are anointed, and the gospel covenant is not to speak ill against the Lord's anointed. And so you have Utah Republicans in political office who get quoted as saying, the people voted for me to do what I want done for this nation or this state, and I'm going to do it. That's how they think. They think that because they were voted in, that the people voted to have them do whatever they want. And it's not how it works, guys. That's a representative republic, not a constitutional republic. You gotta follow the Constitution. It's that simple. It's not complicated. And even on the left-wing media, I hear, oh, we need to protect our democracy. And I did the post on my website about how Democrats are racist too. And so I posted the link in the other video, so I'm not going to do it here. So, yeah, it's bad. This is all from church dominance. And not just church dominance, but corrupt church dominance. Because Brigham Young was corrupt. He wasn't just not the true successor of Joseph Smith. You know, lots of people wanted to be a successor to Joseph Smith, but any one of them were better than Brigham Young. Brigham Young was the worst case scenario to succeed the church. Joseph Smith didn't even put him in a position to be a successor. And yet he took advantage of his situation to promote himself. And people fell for it. So, anyway. Alright, I got a couple of commentaries, so we'll throw them in with this. And go from there. Yes, I agree with you. Cyprian Lulian, he commented, they don't need temples in Russia, on an older video of mine of where's the LDS Russian temple, President Nelson? And so he's saying they don't need temples in Russia. Yeah, they don't need them. They shouldn't have them. They should be kicking out the missionaries, sending them home, or sending them elsewhere in the world where we're not an enemy of that country, and closing down the church in that area. That should have been done way back when Putin was put into office. And so, yeah, we shouldn't have them. We shouldn't need them. We shouldn't be trying to get them in Russia. And so, all right. And the next one, C. David. Oh, this is C. David. He's replying to a reply for his comment saying that the church has never lied. And I said, yes, Gospel Topic Essays. And then always saying, I don't see anything where they lied. There was a hoax that Nelson apologized. Oh, yeah, having a history of racism. Wait a minute. No, the Mormon Church did not apologize for having a history of racism. From the Salt Lake Tribune is his link. And then he goes on to say, we live in a world where, unfortunately, the distinction between true and false appears to become increasingly blurred by manipulation of facts. Okay, but you're not reading the whole thing. By exploitation of uncritical minds and by the pollution of language. So you're quoting Arnie Tisekusk. So it also worries me that people come on to my channel and they don't have a picture to accompany it. I can understand if you're poor, but most people are capable of using their cell phone to take a picture of themselves and put it on their social media sites. Now I can understand again that there's paranoia and posting too much of your data, as Facebook is about to be criminally charged for their data violations. But still, I mean, come on, guys. I figured it out. I can't figure out how to correct it, but or update it. Certain places I can't figure out. Gmail is one of them, because YouTube connects to my Gmail. That's why I have the picture on YouTube that I have. So, yeah, Alright, so I'm going to have to reply to this guy and give him the specific link. Or I can connect him to the video if I can find my video. Depends on how I worded it. Okay. Yeah, with the Salt Lake Tribune article saying, no, the Mormon Church did not apologize for having a history of racism, and then for him to say that this link, Nelson apologizes, I'm not quite sure what he means. I'll have to look at that article, but we'll... so we need to do YouTube. La, 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 la. It's me, Jessie. She's not responding after I sent her my help for information. And then I commented today on her Book of Abraham is fake video, pointing out some more stuff that also tie in to the whole coming forth of the Book of Mormon with the plates and stuff. So either I gave her too much to go through, or she's now avoiding me because I've now presented myself as a threat to her intelligence. Okay, LDS Mormon Church confesses critics are right, but that's not the one. And I'm concerned that it may be a bit, yeah, the crisis report, that only talks about the report. Let's see, does it have a, doesn't have a, there it is. Let's see, church wide. Okay, LDS Mormons attempt to change facts with their beliefs. Gloves are off. Abraham translated. Okay, this isn't going to help me. I'm going to have to go to the gospel topic essays themselves. All right. Bum bum ba bum ba bum bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba ba bum. Crying's not free. And see, they're advertising with a young woman who marks up her scriptures, and all she's doing is just reading, highlighting what's of interest to her. It's not like she's writing in the notes or referencing other books, because it looks like the other book she has is just the Bible. She does seem to have a tablet, but yeah, she's not studying her scriptures. They're making it look like she's studying. Advertising is all just a shell game. Alright, so are Mormons Christian? Becoming like God? Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do a summary for him, because he obviously doesn't know how to comprehend what he reads. And I don't think I put it in the bestschools.org magazine. Oh, yeah, that's a fallacy thing that I put in. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, here's the gospel topic essay link. The church will never come right out and declare the word lie. To apologize. He may be using apology when I was talking about apologists. To apologize under the definition of saying sorry for committing a wrong. But these gospel topic essays were written by Mormon apologists, defined as those who defend a position with unsound reasoning. This means you will need to brush up on your fallacies when you read over these essays. then you'll need to do history research on the church for each of these topics. As one born and raised in the church for almost 50 years, I have personally witnessed changes in position over time, but when I read these essays, this then is a drastic change of position. For example, Mormons believed in the racism of Brigham Young, despite returning the priesthood to blacks in 1978. Believed in racism of Brigham Young and Mormon theology. Despite returning the priesthood to blacks in 1878. So when you read the essay, Race and the Priesthood, they are confessing not only that Brigham was a racist, but are implying that they have lied all these decades. Then I can do the same in each of the other essays. If you are unable to identify them, if you've not been born and raised in the church for as long as I have. Alright, so I give them the link. The church will never come right out and declare the word lie. I hope you understand that, people. When people make accusations against others, as in Manafort, his trial yesterday, the lawyer for Manafort comes out and says no collusion, and that the judge said there was no collusion. And then you hear the people in the background going, "That's not what she said. That's not what she said. You lied." See, it's not a he said, he said. It's all we need is the transcripts. And of course, Rachel Maddow, her show, she always covers transcripts. And sure enough, the lawyer lied. And so, yes, we can call the lawyer a liar because we have the transcripts. We know that person was telling the truth, even though he was being a heckler. He was telling the truth, which is why he was being a heckler. That's why I'm a heckler. I'm telling the truth. I'm calling the church liars. It's that simple. And so, people who are guilty, they never confess. Never. If they do, it's because they're being threatened. We will arrest your family. We will cause pain and suffering to you and your loved ones and blah, blah, blah. The prosecution always uses the same tactics that terrorists, gangsters, mafia, crime bosses, etc. use. It's like the Constitution just doesn't even exist. Anyway, yeah, the bad guys never confess. That's why they're the bad guys. If they were the good guys, they'd go, "Oops, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. I am sorry. Let me make it up to you. You know, let me buy you a new thing that I stole from you and then damaged," or whatever the case is. And obviously, if you kill somebody, that's not a mistake. And you can't restore that. And that's why we're supposed to have the death penalty. Of course, California is now done away with it through executive order. But yes, I'm a firm believer in the death penalty when it's appropriate. And it shouldn't be used lightly, and especially under our system where people get falsely accused. We need to correct the system first before we can implement justice. Otherwise, we're just being hypocrites right now. Okay, so yeah. Do you understand, Mormons? The church is not going to come out and confess, "We've lied to you all this time, but hey, we're sorry. Let's move on." They're not going to do that. And especially now, in legal terms, when you come out and confess, you know, and say you're sorry, people take it against you. You confessed? Great. I'll see you in court. Your Honor, they confessed. I want restitution. Okay. Did you confess? Well, yeah, but it was a mistake. It wasn't intentional. You confessed. Sorry. And you don't look like an old white guy who's in a position of power and authority. So we're putting you in jail or prison for life. Bye. So, yeah. And so, all right. And of course, I had to define apology for him if that was his mistake also. Apology in our common vernacular means saying you're sorry. And that's different from Mormon apologists. They're not saying they're sorry. They're still defending the church's position. So like in translation and historicity of the Book of Abraham, for example, John Gee doesn't say he's sorry that Joseph Smith is not a translator. Instead, he defends Joseph Smith with the unsound argument that Joseph Smith wasn't really translating, he was receiving revelation to write the Book of Abraham. Which then begs the question, so you mean the Book of Mormon is also revelation and not a translation from ancient plates? He would say yes, because no, that church had to come out and confess, all right, yes, Joseph didn't translate it by the gift and power of God. What we meant to say was a hat with rocks in it. And so now the church is okay showing the one rock, which apparently doesn't look like the two rocks that are online that other people have have taken a picture of, which is strange. Of course, the rock that the church has is a little bit shiny and polished. I don't think that's what Joseph Smith would have found. It's possible, but that size, doubtful. Apparently he got it in a well. The two rocks apparently were in that well. But the other two that are pictured look more like artifacts rather than rocks. So there's some confusion going on as to which rocks were the actual rocks that Joseph Smith used. I would be more inclined to use the one that the church has, but they need another one. So one of the other two rocks sort of looks like a rock. So I don't know. It would be nice if people would tell the truth. So anyway, yeah. So and John Gee is the one who wrote that article, that essay, because he's got his manner of speech written all over it, and so he says that Joseph Smith didn't translate; he received revelation. And so yes, you can then say, oh, so the Book of Mormon wasn't translated either. So Joseph Smith never made a translation. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, yeah. Well, no, guys. Remember way back when in 2000 or 1999? It had to have been 1990. Could have been 1998 even. When Stephanie had left me. And I was going around trying to restore my alphabet research because she had taken my computer and all my research files. Yeah, I made contact not just with the church, who tried to have me excommunicated for trying to find out just information, just asking questions. I was not criticizing. I was just asking, is there any other information about Joseph Smith in translation? I've got this discovery that I've made that the alphabet in Hebrew is different from the traditional, and yeah, they tried to have me excommunicated for that. And so Farms, they told me Joseph Smith was wrong, and that I should stay away from him. And so, yeah, apparently the translation is a very touchy subject in the church. But the church is clear. Joseph Smith studied translation, Hebrew, Greek, German, and other languages. He was working on learning to translate the Bible into different languages, or to read it from different languages. And so with the Egyptian papyri coming as the year that he was wanting to translate, yeah, he was trying to translate, and he actually puts in some of his knowledge of translation in the Book of Abraham, in the explanations, with those words. Rakiang, what's that? That's not a Hebrew word. Yeah, it is. If you go to Joshua Sykes's grammar, Hebrew grammar, it's available online. You can find it. You just type in PDF at the end, and it'll come up. His grammar was what he taught Joseph Smith. He's that learned man that in the King Follett Discourse, and a learned Jew, and yeah, right there in that grammar is Rakiang for Rakia, which most other people know it as. And then there's some other groups that have the different phonetics for that, and it's just annoying when you try to talk to people who are in a different phonetics. They all think they're the right one. It's like a religious cult groups that are all separate from each other and warring against each other as to which phonetics are right. It's just absurd, especially when you get to the name of God, Yahweh. You know, but other people say, no, it's not Yahweh. And then when you throw in ignorant people like Jehovah's Witnesses, it's Jehovah. No, you're not even in the ballpark. So, it gets so frustrating when you fool around arguing over petty things that have no bearing on the original documents. So, all right, so yeah, that's the Mormon apologist approach, is to defend the church. They're not apologizing and saying sorry. They're saying, no, you guys are mistaken. The church is still right. The church is still true. It's not translation, it's revelation. That's how they do it. That's unsound argument. And they're wrong. Because Joseph Smith was learning translation. He knew the difference. And so people who called his Joseph Smith translation of the Bible a Joseph Smith translation are wrong. The reorganized church who took possession of it called it a revision. They knew better. Why can't the Mormon church know better? Oh, right, because it's already titled the revision, and so they don't have the copyrights to it. Oh, okay. See how this is all working, guys? And they were able to get the revision right before they produced the quad with the footnotes and the Topical Guide Bible Dictionary, which is after the papyri, and all combined together to tell this lie about Joseph Smith not translating Revelation. So anyway, so people need to understand that when the church pulls a stunt like that, they're lying to you. That's a lie. They're not going to say it's a lie. They're just going to say truth is what we say is truth. Reality is what we say is reality. Crime is not a crime. So, yeah. All right. So, I should review this to make sure I don't have any grammatical errors or missing information on here, but I'm just going to reply. Alrighty. Okay. That should be it, unless something, nope, nothing popped up in the meantime. Alrighty. There's an update plus comment reviews.